Shalom and welcome back to the Hebrew Herbalist. Yes, it's been a long time and I apologize for the delay. I've been off busy. I've been away in Gambia obviously for 7 to 8 months and progression has been great and over there. I've secured some land. It's going through development right now, and obviously while I was over there doing charity work and other various things as well. So obviously I won't go into that, that's a different video, but yeah, it's just been amazing. But also, so welcome back, and this is going to be our second part to SOS, sugars, oils and salts. So this is oils and overall known as fats. So let's just go straight into it really, and then I can just kind of, hopefully you'll take something from the video and you'll introduce or reintroduce or start to move things away from your diet that you're consuming right now that's causing your body havoc. So oils, also known as fats, can be extremely healthy to our bodies, but also can be devastatingly toxic. So in brief, what oils am I referring to about toxic oils? So in a lot of foods that we eat on a daily basis contain a lot of oils called vegetable oil, sunflower oil, rapeseed oil. Palm oil can be healthy, but the ones that we consume in certain foods are not healthy. And then you've got other oils like safflower oil as well, which can be healthy as well, but due to the process, sometimes it's not as healthy. So, and the reason why they're not healthy is because the oils go through a heavy toxic procedure, a process that's called hydrogenation, which turns oil into trans fats. And the reason why they do that, the food industry, is so that they can make the oil have a longer shelf life, and also it's cheap and inexpensive to make. So with that said, why is it important to remove those types of oils that we're consuming on a regular basis? Trans fats are extremely high in a lot of junk foods, also foods that we cook as well, and foods that you won't even think that they're in. So most foods you might know, when I say junk foods, you'll obviously know the terms of things like crisps and fried food and baked foods and margarine. You know, these are worst foods that contain high trans fats. Pizza, pies, fish when it's got batter on. So there's so much trans fat in these foods, and what it does to our bodies is it raises our cholesterol level. And when I say cholesterol, there's two terms when I say cholesterol. It's obviously known as a fat, but you've got HDL and LDL. HDL cholesterol is present in a lot of healthy oils that we consume. And LDL, that's the baddie, that's the one that we need to remove and avoid as best we can. We need to avoid it because it's known as low density lipoproteins or low density lipids. That's what they call LDL. And it's the number one leading cause of heart disease in adults. So it's really important that we start to look at this cholesterol. It's something that processes in our body and it goes through the liver. So your liver processes everything that goes through your body, anything that's got calories in anyway, should I say. So it's really important. Another thing that I was going to talk about trans fat is that it has two names for it, trans fat. So it's either hidden trans fat or visible trans fat. So I'm going to talk about the hidden one first. So the hidden trans fat, also known as visceral fat or stubborn fat. And this is a fat that stores on our vital organs inside of our body. So obviously the heart, which I'm going to mention as well, the heart, the liver, the stomach, the intestines. This is how LDL goes into the intestines. It increases the inflammation on the intestines, which can relate to diabetes and cancer as well. So it's vitally important that we start to remove this. Now the other trans fat, the visible trans fat, this is also known as subcutaneous fat, which basically means it's under the skin. So this is one that's visible. That's the one you can see that's on the arms, the legs, the hips, the thighs, the belly, the buttocks, the bottom, and the lower back. So this is one that's visible, and we live as mankind, or as people, should I say, we're so focused on vanity and so focused on how our outward appearance looks. Do we have a six-pack? Do we have no fat on our legs showing? And we're so focused on this physical appearance, but we need to look at the inside outwards instead of the outward appearance and inside, because there's a lot of people that are slim and there's something called the skinny fat. Now this skinny fat is where as I mentioned about the visceral fat, all their fat is on the inside. So people that are slim still have heart attacks. Just because you're slim doesn't mean you're not gonna have a heart attack. You can still get a heart attack because you have a high amount of visceral fat that's on your organs. And if your arteries are clogged up, then you're in trouble. And just on a side note, there's men out there that have something called ED, erectile dysfunction, and you have a small artery that goes down to that reproductive area down there. And if that gets clogged up, man, you're finished. A lot of men obviously go to tablets. Now you can remove that and you can repair that if you choose to put the right fats in your body. If you're clogging up your body and your arteries with unhealthy LDL cholesterol, then there's no return for you. Sounds very brummy. No return. So we need to remove the LDL fat, the cholesterol, and improve it and get reintroduce healthy, nutritious fats, that oils that our body thrives and loves and gives us a hug when we kind of consume it. So I've mentioned about removing. So it's really important that obviously once we repair, that repairs the process as well. So when we remove these unhealthy fats or oils, then we start to lower our blood cholesterol in our body. We start to remove visceral fat. We start to remove all the hidden and reduced inflammation that's in our body. And that comes with a lifestyle change. Most diseases, health issues that we have can be repaired or restored basically by our change in diet and our mindset, obviously, because it's a lot about our mind as well, not just about what we're consuming, it's about our mind, what we fill our mind with. And we can improve our body just by removing those things. So it's lifestyle changes the major thing. So what I'm going to focus on now is what are we going to reintroduce. So we've talked about the 3 R's, which I always refer to. Remove the poor food choices. Then our body starts to repair. When it repairs, we start to feel good. And then what can we reintroduce? Now, with reintroducing these foods, they are going to be more expensive. That's the nature of the beast. They're going to be more expensive. But I'll tell you this, you cannot put a price on your health, because one way or another, if you eat all these poor foods, you're going to pay later on down the line, whether it's disease, whether you have to change your diet. So it's going to cost you long term anyway. So it's best that you introduce healthy options and eat less food. Your body don't need to eat so much food. We don't need to. If you're eating 3 meals a day of high fats, think about it, and you calculate that over a year. I'm sure it's about over 1,000 meals in a year. Let me get the correct sum actually. I'll put it up on there. You can see it on the video. But our body's consuming so much. It's a marvelous machine. So it's not a machine, but it's a marvelous creation that we've been made that we can consume foods. But if we're clogging up with all these unhealthy toxins and fats and pesticides and all these kind of things, GMO things in our bodies, eventually it has to break down. Eventually it has to give at some point. So what can we reintroduce? And obviously this is what I'm going to start with now. So I have 5 proven oils that we can use that will heart healthy, that our bodies thrive and love from. Actually there's 7, but the other 2 I'm going to do another video. That's hemp seed oil and cannabis oil, but I'll do that on a separate video. But I've got 5 oils that are amazing for the body, and we're going to go into it right now. So number 1, my first one is coconut oil. So this oil it's got essential fatty acids in it basically, but it's got a compound in it, a triglyceride called MCT oil, which is known as medium chain triglyceride. But it also has fatty acids as well. It's got caprylic acid, lauric acid, another one is I think capric acid as well. So that's just 3 of them, but I think there's about 6 or 7 other fatty acids that are formed in this oil. So it's an excellent superfood, and it has over 20 proven health benefits. So it helps reduce obesity and weight loss. It's good for the brain, heart, and for the joints. And it's got it's excellent for what's called brain cognitive decline, and also for culinary use, and obviously for things like if you want to use it for your hair products or make a cream out of it. But what I want to focus on was because I think 2 or 3 of the oils have high smoking points. And what a smoking point is, it's basically when we cook with oils, the oil has a certain smoking point. If it goes above that smoking point, then the oil then starts to become cancer causing, or another terminology is known as carcinogenic. So due to its high smoking points, you can cook, I think it's up to 350 Fahrenheit, which is 176 degrees. So you can cook with this food, and it's, it shouldn't spoil, and it shouldn't oxidize. That's what happens with oil. It oxidizes, oxidation process, which means it starts to die out. And that's a natural process that happens. Just think of an apple. When you cut an apple in half, leave it for half an hour, not even that, then it starts to brown. Once you buy fruits and vegetables, you leave them, they start to spoil. That's an oxidization process. Just means oxygen comes into it and it starts to die out. So my second oil is EVU, which is short for extra virgin olive oil. And this has a high amount of oleic fatty acid. It's high in antioxidants and then polyphenols, also phytonutrients as well. And these things basically are just to prevent heart disease, and it protects your hearts and your arteries as well. Okay, so extra virgin olive oil is highly known. Just ensure that when you get the bottle, when you buy a bottle of that, make sure it's a dark bottle. Make sure it's in bottle, not plastic. Plastics, obviously, I won't go into that video right now, but there's a reason why I'm saying that. But make sure it's a dark bottle, and ensure that it's sourced at a place where they make natural, organic, good olive oil, like Italy or Spain, somewhere like that. Okay. So my third oil is flaxseed oil, and flax seeds, also known as linseeds as well. They're high omega-3s as well, fatty acids, and they have a terminology called ALA, which is only sourced in the non-animal basically sources. So it's alpha linolenic acid. It's high in nutrients. This flaxseed oil, rich in fiber, lowers cholesterol, lowers blood pressure, and it reduces obviously heart disease and also type 2 diabetes. So these oils, there's no brainers oils with the seeds that contain it. It's a no-brainer. It's a non, if you want to improve your health, you need to consume these. It's really important. Another one I haven't mentioned that I'll quickly say now is chia seeds. Chia seeds is an amazing what's called rich fiber as well, and helps you remove any, not just toxins, but helps you to, if you're constipated, you should be going at least 2 to 3 times a day. If you're not, then you're constipated. So you need to remove that out of your bowels, because if you don't move it out of your bowels, then it backclogs, and then it comes back into what's called into your colon. So that's why you see how people have amounts of colon disease and bowel disease. So anyway, so the next oil is one of my favorites. I think it's the one that's got 5. I think it's five highest superfood on the list. It's avocado oil, and avocados are good for the reproductive system anyway. Good for women as well. So it's just an amazing. Is it a fruit or is it a vegetable? I'm gonna say fruit. It's got seed in. But anyway, yeah. So it's another excellent choice, which can be heated as well. So that can go to 176 degrees. So you can cook with that. It can be used on salads, but it's a heart healthy fat, vitamin E, and studies have proven that it obviously helps reduce diabetes, high cholesterol, psoriasis, which is obviously a skin issue. So get avocados. You should be consuming at least once a week if you can. Amazing for the body. So yeah, you can also use it obviously as a hair product as well if you know how to make those things. There's loads of videos out there that shows how you can use lots of these oils for different things. Going back quickly to chia seeds, I love the drink that I make in the morning. Before I've eaten anything, I have probably a tablespoon of chia seeds, add it with some glass of water, bit of lemon juice. That is just an amazing cleansing tonic that you can drink, and obviously fiber, good for the liver, good for the colon, good for intestines, good for the stomach as well, because your stomach's got hydrochloric acid. So it's just an amazing drink. It's so simple. Chia seeds are quick, they're cheap food source, and something that you can introduce and just utilize on a daily basis. And then my last oil, the 5th oil, I got 5 on it, is sesame seed oil, and this is full of antioxidants, and it's another heart health fat. All the fats I've mentioned, the 5, are heart healthy, so it's something that you need to introduce, really need to. It's also good for skin and hair health. It reduces inflammation and chronic pain, and it also stabilizes your blood sugar levels. So that's the 5 oils to reintroduce. And while on the topic of talking about healthy fats and bringing things in, here are my Hebrew Herbalist top tips. So if you're hungry and you want a snack, then you can introduce some healthy nuts and seeds. Now, obviously, you should get your amount of fat or oil content from food sources. These are food sources, but I'm just saying as an additional snack, don't eat too many nuts and seeds because they can be quite high and calorific. So I would just say have some good source of nuts, macadamia, pecan, Brazil nuts, cashew nuts. Avoid dry roasted peanuts, salted peanuts or salted cashews, or anything salted because they have NaCl, which is sodium, which is not healthy for us. I'm going to talk about it in a salts video anyway. And then we also have another ingredient called MSG. This is in a lot of food, by the way, a lot of crisps as well. And it's called monosodium glutamate, which is also known as Chinese salt. And it's actually a neurotoxin, so it actually destroys our brain glial cells. So, and that's the cells that are linked to our brain and our spinal cord. So it's really important that we avoid that toxin. It's dangerous. And obviously another side note as well, not a side note, but obviously another tip is that if you're desperate and you're hungry and you know, I'm not sure what to eat or snack on, if you need to eat, go to the shop and buy something, you sure look at the label, ensure that you look at the back of it, because a lot of these things say they're the low in sugar, the high in fat or low in fat. But in terms, if it says high in fat, then it's not really good fat. It's going to be on there for one. And if it does say high in fat, then it's going to be low sugar. And if it says low in sugar, then it's going to be a high fat. So those labels are just kind of ways just to kind of fool us or to disguise it as healthy, but it's not healthy. So you want to kind of opt for, as I mentioned in my last video, fruits or nuts and seeds as a snack to kind of keep you going until you have a good substance meal. Yeah. Talking about labels as well, another thing is there's another hidden trans fat in labels, which is known as emulsifiers. Now, this is something that they do to separate the content, especially with drinks as well. It's to make sure that separation doesn't happen with the oils and the water. So if you make your own juice, you'll see after like an hour, 2 hours, you'll see the separation. You think, that don't look very nice. But that's a natural process of the separation. But you'll buy a drink from the shop or a carton and you'll see that it won't separate for days, months, weeks, because they have this hidden toxin there called emulsifier. Now, the names of it that you'll see, just like I mentioned in the sugar video, the names, there's 56 different names of sugars, just like this one as well, trans fat, is called emulsifiers, but the other names that you'll see, just avoid them if you see them on the back of packets. It's monoglycerides and diglycerides. So these are the two names for emulsifiers. And then you got carrageenan as well. So that's the third one. So anything that's processed that we eat is guaranteed to have these things in there. And as I mentioned before, it's a toxin and it's just going to destroy everything about our gut function. So avoid it at all costs. Remove the unhealthy fats. To summarize, remove the unhealthy fats, the ones that's clogging up our arteries and cause us to have, not just clogs up arteries, but it will cause us to have brain fog. It makes us sluggish. It's not good. Our body's not meant to consume so much oil, so much fat in our bodies. We're not meant to be like that. So remove, your body starts to repair, and then what the repair process, just strengthen it, and obviously to build that up, we reintroduce heart healthy fats, the ones I mentioned. So this is your boy Ephraim Yahusef, the Hebrew Herbalist, signing off. Hopefully the next video will be on salts and it won't be a year later. Just so you know, I'll try and do it as quick as I can. Okay, so shalom to you. As I say in my scripture, 3 John 2, is that, beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper in health as your soul prospers. Shalom.